Happy Friday. Welcome to the NBA Picks Show on the LineStar YouTube channel. Alongside Tyler Wiemann, I am Shannon Sommerville, and we are back with some more NBA picks. As always, all of our picks are available on Underdog. Right now, they've got some great promos that we're going to take advantage of, including the extender, where each game throughout the playoffs, you get an additional boost on your entry. So take advantage of that. And of course, the ladders game, which is what we've been playing. It's a ton of fun. And in fact, the ladders came through for us last night. At least we won our money back, at least. Not a great game for the overs in general, but Jonathan Kuminga delivered for us on that points. But DiVincenzo and Buddy Hield only got to that first rung for us, so we were only able to win our money back. Remember, with the ladders contest, we need all three of those players to surpass whatever rung we want to get. But we really want to get to that third rung because that's like around 25x our money, which we won earlier this week. So let's finish the week strong here. We've got two great games on the slate. We've got Cleveland hosting the Indiana Pacers, and they are down 2 games. They've got a couple guys still on the injury report. Darius Garland, DeAndre Hunter, Evan Mobley, all listed as questionable for tonight. And we'll talk about that as we assess the pick'em market for that. And then we've also got OKC going up against Denver. So first of all, Tyler, an interesting injury report for the Cleveland Cavaliers, but they're in a situation where they're down 2 games. So you got to think that they're going to be out there limping around. I mean, whatever they got to do to kind of get right tonight and get the win is going to be whatever it takes mentality.
Yeah, I agree. It does look like Garland is expected to play, Mobley, Hunter, both aiming to play, and you got to think they're going to be out there. They're going to do all they can to be out there.
All right, so a lot for us to consider as we approach the pick'em market. Remember, again, all of our picks on Underdog. Use the promo code LineStar if you are a new user on Underdog, and you'll get a bonus deposit match plus 1 free month of the LineStar app. So take advantage of that deal and do us a huge favor. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, comment below. What we're going to do is put our 2 picks on an entry and use that extender promo on Underdog. And if those 2 both cash, one randomly selected commenter will win $20. Unfortunately, last night, Jimmy Butler and Anthony Edwards not deliver for us on that one. So no winner for today, but hope. What's that?
Said if you faded us.
I know. So congrats to all who faded. But let's see if we can redeem ourselves a little bit on this Friday. It's a tough market to look at, but let's just give it a shot here with our extender picks, and then we'll get into our ladder for tonight. We're going to start things off with Donovan Mitchell, who's been awesome for the Cavs. Unfortunately, they haven't been able to get the win, but not for lack of trying from Mitchell. We're going to go higher than 28.5 points here. LineStar's projection is 29, 48 points and 33 the last 2 games. The only thing to consider here is the fact that there could be players back tonight, which could detract, but you got to think if the Cavs are going to win, they're banged up right now. He's got to put the team on his back in this situation and kind of take care of business. So might be the way to go with Spider.
Yeah, I think this is going to be the Cavs game, and they're going to control it. Spider's been the engine, keeping them in the games. And if you go back to last year, he has played Indiana 6 times. Mm-hmm. 5 of those, he's been 33 or plus points. So, okay. Like the spot, 28.5 is probably a little low for him, and there's obviously a ceiling.
Yeah. All right. And next pick, we're going to go Aaron Gordon, higher than 23.5 points and rebounds. I mean, he's been getting physical. And in fact, he made a few comments after that game that he thought that things were getting maybe a little too physical. So you know what? Sometimes Tyler, squeaky wheel gets the grease. Maybe he'll get an extra couple calls. I'm not sure. Either way, they're relying on him tonight to power in the paint. What do you think?
They are relying on him. He's been playing giant minutes. Over the last 20, he's averaging 23.7. Over the last 5, that's up to 25.6. Just with the added minutes, that average is a little bit higher. And the thing that's interesting to me here is, one, this game's back at home. At home, he shoots 66% true shooting percentage versus 64 on the road. So he's a little better shooter at home. But from 3, 52% from 3 this year at home. He has been money at home, and they've been asking him to shoot a lot of threes so far in this game. He only shot 37% on the road with threes. So It's a good spot for his threes. He also has 19 rebounds over the last 2 games versus OKC. So there's obviously a ceiling with the rebounds. He's shooting better at home. I like the spot.
All right. And another one that we do want to take note of and just kind of talk about is kind of a fishier line that we saw here today. And that is that of Darius Garland's higher than 15.5 points for a guy who averages over 20 points per game in the regular season. And I know he only played 2 games in the postseason so far, but 20 and 24 versus Indiana in the regular season. So this one's a curious one. What do you make of that 15.5 mark?
All of his lines are low for what he usually does too. So I wanted to stay away from it a little bit. I felt like it was a little trappy. Like,
yes, that's what I'm gathering. It seems like a trap.
The situation is, he's coming back from injury. He hasn't played in 4 games, but really you go back and he hasn't played in 5 of 8 games, over their last 8. So this toe issue has definitely been bothering him. So I think the obvious thing is like, okay, is he going to be on a minute limit? But I mean, can the Cavs really do that right now? Like, they're down 0-2. They got to win this game.
Yeah.
And, and that's like kind of the catch-22 for me in this spot. I think he is very hampered by this toe. But I think there's a big question mark how many minutes he's going to play, even with it being a playoff game.
I know. It's so tempting, though, to take higher than that, knowing this is a guy that can absolutely drain the ball from pretty much anywhere on the floor.
A way to probably bet him today is use alt lines because that line is low. If he's playing his normal amount of minutes, I mean, this 15.5 is probably more like 17 or 18.5, so maybe just push that line up a little bit and do it that way.
Well, regardless of what he's doing tonight, we're rolling with Spida higher than 28.5 points plus Aaron Gordon over 23.5 points and rebounds. Again, using that extender promo on Underdog. Next up, we're going to the ladders contest. And we did get a question last show about how exactly to find the ladders contest within the Underdog app. So on the app at the bottom, there's the Pick'em little icon at the bottom, and then next to that there's a tab called Originals. You click on Originals and then it'll pull up what is called Underdog Originals Contest and scroll down to ladders, and that will take you to the ladder screen there where you can pick any player for tonight's contest. And in fact, that is exactly what we are doing. So let's talk about the first player on our ladder, which is going to be Donovan Mitchell. Kind of what we've been talking about with when we took him on the higher for points here. So the first rung of the ladder is 24 points for Mitchell. And listen, we know he can get 40 points in a game. So this is a guy, if what Tyler and I are anticipating for tonight is some of those guys are still a little bit banged up, it's going to be Mitchell responsible for kind of putting the team on his back and willing them to victory, kind of like he's done the last 2 games. So liking to take him for a ladder situation. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, his value is shooting the ball. He shot the ball 30 times in both games, game 1 and game 2. Shot well last game, so he scored 48. We know that ceiling is there. I think that it's very likely he's at least 3x. It's just, can he have that, big boom game and get 40 points? We're going after a 25x. He has the ceiling to be able to do it. And what he's done versus them over the last 6 games obviously shows he can get us there.
All right, and keeping it with the Cavs, DeAndre Hunter, who is one of those questionable guys, but dealing with a thumb injury. What do you like about his prospects for tonight in this ladders contest?
Well, our LineStar projection is 16.2. So, I mean, 3x is 12. 19 is that 25x. So the ceiling is obviously there. He played 30 minutes in game 1. He went for 23 on April 10th versus Indiana. So the upside is obviously there, but we do have kind of that question mark of like Garland. Is he going to come out and play his full allotment? I do think it's much more likely that Hunter is playing his normal minutes rather than Garland, though, just because Hunter's only missed one. And it's
Yeah,
a thumb. It's not
sure.
a toe.
That's a good point. All right, so we got those two Cavs on our entry for ladders. And lastly, we're going to Nikola Jokic for our last ladder player pick here. 24, 29, 38 is what we need him to get. He took care of business in game one, 42 points for him, but just 17 last game, although it was kind of a blowout situation. Given the fact, I don't know, what do you like about Jokic for tonight other than pretty much everything about Jokic and the playoffs?
I mean, look, this is a guy that, he only scored 17 last game.
Yeah.
Game before that, 42. Game before that, first them, 35. He needs to score to beat this Thunder team. The other game they won this year versus the Thunder, he had 23 points, but it was a 20 rebound, 16 assist game. For Denver to win this game, it has to be the Jokic show. Mm-hmm. And scoring is one of the many ways he can, make that happen. I think 24, 29, and 38, are decent price tags. 38, it's going to be very hard for him to get. But 29, I mean, we have a guy that's averaging 29.7 over the last 20 games. So he can obviously hit that 29 number.
And I know I was kind of joking about earlier when Aaron Gordon was kind of popping off about the refs and stuff, but sometimes I do feel like that they do a little bit of, I don't know, like a favorable call the next game. So maybe I feel like they've been crushing Jokic, playing him really, really physical and tough. And maybe the refs will draw a more favorable whistle. I don't know, but
I think you got to play Jokic any way you can
and draw. Hopefully he draws more fouls and stuff. We'll see. But anyways, regardless, Jokic is awesome. So we'll take him for the third player on our ladders. Remember to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and comment below to enter into that picks contest. So our pick'em entry, if that cashes, one randomly selected commenter will win $20. And if you've got any locks for us, this is kind of a tough couple games to look at and handicap. So if you've got any locks for us, please drop them in the comments. We're all trying to help each other out and win some money on this Friday. Also check out our MLB picks as well. Hey, if you're not feeling today's NBA, I totally get it. It's a little wonky. Go check out our MLB picks. We've been crushing it there. 20-5, in fact, over our last 5 shows. We've been on quite the tear there. So go check that out if you're not about the NBA, which I totally get. Playoffs is kind of a different animal. But good luck to you in all of your pick'em endeavors for tonight. We'll see you guys back here on Monday. Have a good one.